guys, so this is your full moon in Aquarius tarot reading that I mentioned that I would do in the last reading that I uploaded. As you can tell from the title, this is a blue moon. A little thing I wanted to say about blue moons before we get started is that there are 4 types of blue moons. There are calendrical blue moons, astrological, astronomical, and seasonal, and the last 2 are pretty similar. So a calendar blue moon is when 2 moons happen in the same calendar month. Astrological is when 2 full moons happen back to back that are in the same sign. This blue moon is one of those because the last full moon was in Aquarius, and it's significant because we are still in the season of Leo today. So the sun is in its opposite sign, and the last new moon we had was also in Leo. And then there's the astronomical and seasonal. So seasonal is when there are 4 blue moons in the same season. Astronomical just kind of calculates that a bit more exactly, as a season being between the solstices and equinoxes instead of just being whenever it feels like summer or winter or spring. And so this blue moon is both an astrological blue moon and astronomically a true blue moon. We are also going to be having another astrological blue moon on September 20th, which is going to be another full moon in Pisces, which this full moon is going to be in Pisces starting tomorrow, actually, at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm waiting until the 23rd to do another video for that because it's going to be, the sun will be in its opposite sign in Virgo starting 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is significant because, you know, Virgo rules the 6th house. I wanted it to be on the day, though, that the moon rises in Pisces at night and the sun rises in the season of Virgo on the same day, so I'm waiting until the 23rd to do that video. For today, though, we will be doing full moon in Aquarius and just what is going on with the energies, what is being brought in, and yeah, what can we expect? I guess I'll just dig right in instead of wasting any more time. Oh, if you are seeing this video from Discord, I will be doing a small like 3 card, something like that, photo reading on the Discord channel tomorrow as well, just for, you know, starting off the Pisces Virgo energy of tomorrow's astrological event. And yes, and I will be going into kind of today's interesting bit of information. Yeah, no, I'm just going to save that for tomorrow because Leo will still be the sun for the first 3/4 of the day tomorrow if you're on the East Coast, in Leo, which is quincunx or in conjunct Pisces, which I feel to be significant considering the season that we're in. I'll get into explaining that tomorrow, though, so we can just dig right in. Once again, I did shuffle these much more thoroughly ahead of time because they're just so big and it takes a little while. When they're normal poker size cards, it's so much easier, but I am going to, I almost wanted to come out, but I'm gonna see if it wants to again, and then I'll honor it. That one wants to come out. Okay, that's interesting. Yes, we are still in the season of Leo. This is the last full day of it. The Chariot. King of Cups. That's interesting. In a reading that wanted to come out earlier. Okay. Okay. Aha, see? I kind of had a feeling that would come out. Oh, that's sagged. I had a feeling that would come out together. Okay. Ace of Wands. And then the back of the deck is the Hierophant. Okay, so I see this as kind of the divine marriage of masculine and feminine energies. We had a very similar concept coming out actually in the last reading I did for the new moon, where the sun and moon were in the same sign. Now they're in the opposite sign. So before it was like the masculine and feminine energies were on exactly the same wavelength. Now it's like they're on a complementary wavelength of opposites, but there's still like something nice going on here. We see like the masculine kind of being the Chariot going into the King of Cups, kind of having like this lunar relationship with the moon here. We see the moon kind of repeating itself, and then the Empress has the solar energy. It's really nice. We have a nice complementary energy of and then back of the deck is the Emperor. Oh, I just shuffled again. So it was the Hierophant and then the Emperor. Well, I mean, maybe I intuitively felt the need to do that because, you know what, I'm going to honor that. I'm going to leave that right there because that feels significant. I was just subconsciously shuffling while I was explaining things. So yeah, the Hierophant, the Emperor, and the Empress. That's wonderful. I'm still kind of in Leo season right now, and as an Aquarius Sun and Mercury, as much as I love this season, and it is a lovely complementary opposite time for me, it still messes up my speech a bit on top of everything else going on, so bear with me. I promise these videos will get better in the future. Okay, let me just do a little bit of thinking about this. Yeah, so normally the Seven of Wands here kind of shows a man kind of defensively pushing away seven attackers, or just seven wands that appear like they could be attacking. There's like a big feather here in the middle. One of the reasons I think I felt drawn to this deck is because tomorrow, towards the end of the day, we do start Virgo season, and crows are very much mercurial. They're like messenger spirits, messenger animals. They're associated with Odin's messenger animals, the two crows he has, and Virgo is ruled by Mercury. So, and I thought that this is showing like a nice fall scene, and we're heading into the fall season this upcoming month. And this is like a bit of a summery sunflower kind of look to it. I'm seeing here that this is actually really lovely. Maybe it's because of that masculine feminine principle with the sun coming into play with these moons. It's probably not going to be like that every single time I do a lunar reading, but I do feel like something beautiful is happening in the collective, as an adjective, not a noun, collective masculine energy right now, where there's just like this beautiful opening up. You may notice that some of the masculine energies in your life, and I mean that as an energy, like you might know some women or third gender people who express a very masculine component to themselves. But this is just to say that and you might even be like trying to balance your internal masculine energies if you normally identify more with the feminine side, but there's this like joyful, gentle, but exuberant energy coming in here. And I see actually the wreath that would often accompany the world in the Chariot card here. Oftentimes in the Rider-Waite, the Chariot is actually standing still. So it's not really about movement as much as the Knights are, because it's more about standing your ground or taking a stand. This is very much a movement card, which is no surprise with, you know, the crows. Of course, the Chariot would be moving here. And we see the same moon again. This is a waning crescent moon, or some will call that a balsamic if it gets a bit thinner. That's significant to me for personal reasons that I won't get into, but yeah, I feel like this is talking about the closing of a cycle, right? So a waning crescent moon happens right before the new moon, right before something else begins. And I'm getting the sense of this is like about the dawn of a new day. And coming back to this, it's like this feather is like all about speech. It's like he's not even really fighting with this one. It's like he's just telling anyone who would oppose him or get in his way just to back off. And it's almost like you can even almost interpret this as like they could be helping him build something. It's like, if you're not going to help me, get out of my way. If you're with me, you're with me. If you're against me, you're against me. It's like he's made a decision about what he wants. Something really decisive, but not in a nasty way, just in a I know what's healthy and right for me sort of way. And it's bringing the masculine energy in the universal, public, collective energy, some very positive shifts. A lot of emotionally opening up, a lot of safety and abundance. We have the lotus flower here, which comes out of muddy water. The roots come out of muddy water, but the lotus blossom itself surfaces completely spotless and clean. It's like some masculine energies here have come out of like a really dark situation in their past, and it's coming towards this beautiful stability, joy, happiness, spiritual security as well, like just a feeling of healing is what I'm getting here. And right, so we see like that same kind of, it's like horizontal. He doesn't even need to like take it up. He doesn't even need to take arms. It's like, I know what I want. You know, I don't even need to prove myself or prove a point. I'm the master of my own life. You know, the masculine energy here is feeling a lot less pitiful and a lot more just really a lot of healing has taken place, I think. And I'm thinking that a lot of the activations that have taken place since this last winter up until now have really set this in motion. The moon is often also about fears, but I'm also seeing like the fish in both of these cards kind of repeating themselves, and it's almost like this fish is kind of jumping out of the water. You know, this crow is talking to this crow that kind of willingly stays in this cage and says, hey, you know, it doesn't have to be like this. You don't have to be afraid. And then this crow is like not in the cage anymore. It's just overlooking the cityscape, and it's like, yeah, I can do anything I want. This is all about passionate new beginnings, the Ace of Wands. And right under the Ten of Cups, it's almost like a lot of I think both masculine and feminine energies. It's like the masculine is coming around and saying what I'm feeling like there's like a feminine energy in the collective that has been like kind of leading the way, right? Look at her, like just flying over this beautiful landscape. Like, look, we can just be free and happy and go after what we want in life. We don't have to live by certain restrictions or expectations. We can do what's right for us. And it's like now there's like a mirroring. It's almost like flip-flopped. I think maybe some of the feminines have gotten exhausted from doing that, and oh, I did not want this to be like a relationship-based reading, but it's kind of coming out that way. This may resonate for you if you're in some kind of soulmate relationship. It might not necessarily be about that. It could be like a mother and son, right? Or it could be any kind, or you could be like best friends with somebody of the same gender. Take whatever resonates. Since this is a general read, I think that a lot of people are feeling like roles have flip-flopped between whoever's been the more nurturing, exuberant, joyful, encouraging one, to now there's like some exhaustion, sleepless nights. The moon often is about nightmares as well, but it can also be about, you know, the empowering of the feminine. We see this crow-shaped shadow here, and it's like this crow could be talking to them. This fish is kind of coming out of the water. It's also looking up at the moon. It's like someone has faced their shadow side. And after that, we see like a liberation leading into this. Like really diving deep into the emotional depths and discovering what was hidden in the shadow led to some like emotional freedom. Like leaping in air, diving upwards, jumping back into the water joyfully, like the way dolphins and fish can do. Yeah, I'm pretty jazzed about this. I'm also seeing a repeating of the flowers here, so it's like a very complementary energy. Apples are about wisdom. I think, and there were some like wands here too in this one. So like maybe some Queen of Wands energy. really kind of going after your own dreams and stuff. And there's a cup here, kind of mirroring the cup energy of here. Yeah, I think that whoever was the more feminine and nurturing one maybe got a bit burnt out and exhausted. That does resonate for me personally too. I'm also sensing that maybe there was like almost a bit of giving up for some of you, whereas I haven't. But and I think that that's turning around because we're seeing like a beautiful opening up on both sides overall. You know, people have been on this journey. Whatever journey resonates for you, you are all on some kind of spiritual journey, right? Some people are on some kind of soulmate journey. Some people are on a journey with their families. For some people, they're following their midheavens and they're going after their career or whatever their life path is, you know, individually, and the people in their life are influencing them in some way. And we've gone from this dawn of a new day and standing up for what you want, really closing out some old cycles, some old beliefs, karmic energy of like letting things from the past drag you down, overcoming that shadow and fears, and just overall becoming liberated and being able to just kind of look out and see like, oh, I've got this whole future ahead of me. I've got this whole path ahead of me. And I have this stable foundation. And whether it's the masculine and feminine within you, the masculine and feminine within your family or your relationships, or just in divine energy of your guides, something, it feels more balanced now. It's not like perfectly balanced yet, but you're heading towards this beautiful balance. Yeah, I think I spent a lot of time on the tarot here, and I want to get to the oracles, but that's what I'm getting from this. Take this. Now I might do a sample soulmate read on this channel one of these days too, just because it keeps wanting to come up. Opened up to star family. So yeah, I think a lot of people, whether it's family, friends, or soulmate, I think a lot of people here have been looking, whoever came to this reading, I think a lot of people have been looking for their spirit tribe. You're a part of a team of souls, call in support, whether that's your spirit guides or just friends and family. People are looking for people who see the world the way they do. So yeah, let me just, I did shuffle this ahead of time, but I'm gonna do a little bit more. Trust in the timing. You know, that card always frustrates me. Earth pull, yes, I think that we are having a bit of that as well. Deep cellular healing. Loosen your grip. Karmic relationships. Yeah, so that was the energy I was getting too. And then back of the deck, Earth School, life lessons, soul growth, study, higher learning. And yeah, we've all been on a journey that we're learning from being incarnated in this lifetime before whatever happens to our souls after that. Yeah. So we've got trust the timing, trust the wave you came in on. Time is not running out. So I have some mixed feelings about that actually, but I'm listening to spirit here. I do think that sometimes when you leave it up to just, I always say, you know, there's not a magical clock in the sky. When it ticks at a certain time, magically it'll be time and a scroll will be beamed down to you that you opened up and says, aha, it is time, you can go forth now. It doesn't work like that. You have to align yourself with the timing. The timing comes when you're ready. And it comes by doing things to make yourself ready. So it doesn't mean be complacent. I think sometimes people will say, oh, just trust the timing. And it's like, that doesn't mean I can't encourage people to not give up on themselves or think, because sometimes people will say, oh, it wasn't the right timing. And they'll say things to themselves like, oh, it just wasn't meant for me in this life, blah, 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 blah. And they'll like commiserate and be happy with being miserable. They'll settle. So this is not saying settle. This is saying trust the wave you came in on, meaning, you know, we're all on different clocks, so to speak. We're not on like some magical clock in the sky that beams down and says, aha, it is time, but we are all in sync with different cycles of our own. We all have our own energy to work with. You know, some of us came in on the full moon. We were born on a full moon, or a waxing crescent, or a waning crescent, or a new moon, or a gibbous. Some of us were born in the season of a solstice, some of us during an equinox. Some of us feel called to certain energies, regardless of when we were born. Some of us feel called to others. And I think this is about saying, you know, time can run out if you waste time. But it's also saying, you know, don't burn yourself out by rushing it. And that's probably advice I should take too, as much as anybody else seeing this. You know, don't do the opposite extreme of like thinking that if you don't accomplish everything in your 20s or 30s or 40s or 50s even, that that you're a failure. Don't be too harsh on yourself, but don't be too complacent either. You know, trust the wave you came in on, but waves aren't stagnant, they move. So do take some motion, but take intuitively and guided motion, motion that's right for your kind of cycle that you're on, your energy. Be in alignment with yourself and your own soul. And loosen your grip. So that's kind of going hand in hand with trusting the timing, because some of it isn't about you and some of it is. And it says coping mechanisms, density, addiction, let God in. Yeah. So there are two ways that you can be controlling about something, right? You can be controlling by saying it has to happen now, or you can be controlling by saying I'm afraid, so therefore I'm going to convince myself it can never happen, and therefore I'm going to use these coping mechanisms and have addictions and be stuck in like a miserable way of thinking. There's like two sides to the coin. So loosen your grip. Don't be too anxious that you need to like control to have it now, and don't be like so commiserating that you think, oh, I don't have divine support, because you do. Everybody has their divine support, their divine guides, and you just got to tap into that. And when you do, there are some things you just got to let go. Leave it up to them. Let your worries rest in their hands, because if you don't, it's gonna drive you nuts. I know. It drives me nuts too. Earth pulsing, pulse of the mother, slow down, time in nature. So you may have heard of like the Schumann resonance has kind of gotten a bit faster this year, the last couple of years really. It's the grounding energies of the earth. They are basically pulsing and vibrating at a higher frequency, at a faster frequency than they used to. And a lot of people feel that this is kind of part of the ascension process, in addition to all the other astronomical and astrological events that have been going on. I would say definitely, if you haven't heard of the Earth Star chakra, look that up. Do some grounding exercises and meditations and breath work to really ground all the star energy that's really been coming in for the past couple of months. You know, Aquarius rules over the star in the tarot. So we just came off of Sirius rising, the heliacal rising of Sirius, or heliacal, however you say that. Yeah. You know, all that stuff comes in through the soul star and the stellar gateway chakras and the crown chakras, but it can be overwhelming if you don't ground. Drink plenty of water, get plenty of sunshine and fresh air, sit on the ground, put your feet on the ground, and just breathe deep. Really take the time out of your day to ground if you're feeling anxious and overwhelmed. Karmic relationships, Orion energy, polarity, soul growth, conflict. We did have so with Sirius rising, it's in Canis Major, and they say that Canis Major and Minor are the dogs of Orion. I don't think I've got time to go into the mythology of Orion and Artemis, but that is worth looking up. I might do a post about it sometime on the Discord. Yeah, I would say that that's very true when we've got Mintaka in the middle. I think that's Orion's belt is what they're depicting. And I think it's interesting that they're showing the water energies, because they say that Mintaka is all about water. Yeah, so we had this polarity, is what they're mentioning here. Again, the polarity of the moon and the sun. We are in opposite energies right now, with the moon in Aquarius, sun in Leo. And I think we are, and look, I say this all the time, all soul relationships with all of your soul family, whether it's a twin flame, soulmate, any kind of relationship, is a karmic relationship, because you have karma from all your past lives with everyone you've ever been with. Are some karmic relationships more toxic than others? Absolutely. Do you need to let go of some people in this life sometimes? Absolutely. Sometimes, though, you just need to let go of some things. You each need to let go of some things in your own ego, right? We're in a period where this opposition is asking us to find, instead of the conflict, the complementary way that two opposite viewpoints can be blended together to create balance. And I think one of these cards actually said balance, or I kind of got the sense of balance from that, and from that as well. Yeah, I would say, and then, you know, the story of Orion and Artemis is kind of like a masculine feminine energy, so Apollo kind of got mixed up in that as well. It was like there was like a negativity there, right, where there was a masculine and feminine energy that was in conflict in a nasty way, and then there was like a complementary energy between Orion and Artemis. Really worth looking up that mythology. It's a bit of a sad story, but it's a really good one. Yeah, I think this is about, and so the karma was that Orion became a constellation as consolation for what he was put through. There's always a consequence to everything, either a positive consequence or a negative consequence to everything we do, and sometimes we create our own misery sometimes. I'm also getting that some people might need to go swimming or bathing to do some emotional healing, like bathe regularly if you don't already. Sorry, I know I'm messing with these cards. It's just driving me a bit nuts that they're not straight. I know I'm saying a lot, but I'm just kind of thinking. I feel like something else wants to come out with this, but I don't know what. Yeah, so in the tarot portion of this reading, we were talking about letting go of some old cycles with the wreath coming in and the waning crescent moons. We are already seeing a close to some negative cycles. Anywhere where we felt truly, for some of you, if you felt like you were abused or taken for granted or harmed by someone in the past, that is being let go now. And any conflict with people worth keeping around who matter a lot to you, that is being healed right now. And I think, trust the timing. It's being healed. Ground. Loosen your grip on the situation. It is healing. You know, do your part to, like, you know, if you need to apologize, apologize. If you need to wait, wait. Focus on your own healing. But things are being corrected one way or another. Deep cellular healing, Arcturus energy, physical and emotional healing. Yeah, and I'm also getting that this is like angelic energy for any of you who follow angels in your spiritual practice. That might not resonate for everybody, but that's okay. Some of you might just have, you know, stellar beings that you feel called to work with. Yeah, so what they're saying here is that we were talking about activations in the last reading, that you know, there's some physical healing going on with this too, you know, helping you to sleep better, helping your there are actually crystalline structures in the you know, minerals that we eat, like from calcium to zinc, And in certain glands in our body, there are tiny, like microscopic crystalline structures. All it takes to be a crystal is to have the structure of one, the shape of one. It doesn't have to be big and super solid. It can, you know, be in our blood. It can be in the secretions of our glands. It can be in our liquids. If you've ever seen selenite crystal turn to mush and water, you know what I'm talking about. It doesn't have to be super hard and solid. We have crystals in our body. And they say that the star energy in particular of the past couple astrological events that we've had really heals that. And I do feel that there are some angelic messages coming in. If you've been having any, if you've been saying any prayers, I think for some of you who pray with angels, they're being answered. And we have lift the veil, questioning everything, anything unaligned must go. Yeah, that's just kind of a repeating of letting go of limiting beliefs, things, relationships where you feel like you're being treated really awfully, work relationships, friendships, any kind, or just letting go of egotistical nonsense that's getting in the way of relationships worth keeping. A lot of karmic junk is being yanked out of our systems right now. For some of us, it's going to be a bit more painful than for others if you're resisting it too much. For some of us, we might be trying to do a lot of stuff and it's exhausting because it takes a lot of energy to have all this yanked out. So if you're trying to, keep a busy schedule, it can be exhausting. I know a thing about that. But I know I'm getting a bit of a lecture here too, not just you guys. And I love that this has like it looks to me like a sunrise in the background here as well, which is kind of reminding me of the tarot portion where we were talking about the dawn of a new day. So we are definitely entering a more positive cycle here, even if it's a bit of a bumpy ride sometimes while we're transitioning. I'm not even gonna, maybe I will. Elemental Magic Earth. These are spell cards, so for those of you who resonate more with doing magic in your practice. Ooh, that was a bad shuffle. Here we go. That's a bit better. That wants to come out. Let's go with 3, Spirit, please. Oh, come on. Telepathy to you, that's cute. Okay. Okay, we also got this. I feel like that could be used. Sun Moon came up earlier when I was shuffling these, and I feel like that was a bit significant as well. So basically just, do the same kind of, like, get sun water, sun tea, moon water, tap into these energies since it's a full moon. I probably don't need to tell most of you to do that. Charms for love. Another charm for luck and love is to take 7 tiny rose quartz stones and put them on your windowsill during a full moon for 7 hours. Then pick up the stones and while holding them in the palm of your hand, speak the wish spell aloud. Luck be quick, luck be kind, and by lucky 7, good luck will be mine, blessed be. I don't tend to do super rhyming spells like that. And this might not even resonate as a love spell for you if you don't need that, but since this is a collective energy, just taking what resonates, in this case, rose quartz. Maybe you do want to do this love spell to have some luck and love, so that if you've had an argument with somebody, it smooths over or whatever. But rose quartz is so good for the heart chakra, and I think the last reading, if I remember, rose quartz came up then too. That's odd. So yeah, a lot of you are probably needing to use some rose quartz. Get yourself a big one and place it on your chest even. It's just really healing for the heart chakra. Make sure you're cleansing it in water or with Palo Santo or sage pretty frequently, because it'll suck out a lot of negative energies. Yeah, there's a lot of emotional healing with all the cups and everything in this reading that we had, and the water that was coming up and a few of those oracle cards. Ruby Tuesday. So this is kind of about grounding to me because it talks about red stones and the root chakra is red or black. So red or black stones. If you want to jumpstart your life and bring about positive change, tap into the power of the rose-colored and red stones. That's interesting. So we had rose quartz there too. Stones of this color spectrum contain life's energy and can help you become more motivated, energetic, and vibrant. Wear this list of rosy and red stones or place them on your desk and throughout your home for an instant booster. Alexandrite, carnelian, garnet, red coral, red jasper, rhyolite, rose jasper, and ruby. The power of these rose and red crystals and gems is greatly amplified if you wear them on a Tuesday. I think that's because Mars rules Tuesday, if I recall correctly. Dandelion root tea, telepathy tea, can call upon the spirit of anyone whose advice you might need. Okay, so this is not really about telepathy so much as being able to listen in for your spirit guides, I think. So if you're wanting to be able to hear your spirit guides in dreams, visions and daydreams, see synchronistic signs, hear something on the radio and you turn on and go, oh, that sounds like a message. Just getting some advice from your guides is what I think this is more about. Simply place a freshly brewed tea using this root on your bedroom altar or nightstand. Before you sleep, say the name of the helper deity aloud 7 times. That's just a god or goddess or even an angel, whoever your spirit guide is. In a dream or vision, the spirit will visit you and answer all your questions. During medieval times, this spell was used to find hidden treasure. Geoffrey Chaucer, the English poet from the Middle Ages, who was well versed in astrology and other metaphysics, recommended this tried and true tea. So dandelion root. That's also just good for you because it's bitters. Dandelion root's just really, it's a good, what's the word? Adaptogen. And it also just helps kind of, it gets the bile in your saliva kind of helping to digest your food more. It balances your hormones. It's really good for you for a lot of things. So, air augury conjuration. When the new moon is in an air sign, Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra. So we are in a full moon in Aquarius, interestingly. Light the following incenses: lavender and sandalwood. So I think you could use this for now too if you want to, or you could wait until the next air new moon if you want to hold on to this. Light 1 white candle and 1 blue candle and say, Winged Mercury, god of air, I entreat you to bring me sight and true awareness. Like the wind, speed my way, make everything new. See, that makes a lot more sense. This spell should give you sharpness and great clarity of mind. Listen to your intuition now. It will not fail you. Write down your insights in your book of shadows, or just a journal if you're into that. That's interesting to me because I mentioned that we're entering Virgo later tomorrow night, and I mentioned Mercury was the reason why I felt called to use the crows, and they bring up Mercury here, also known as Hermes and other messenger spirit guides. Okay, I'm gonna get into the dice in a minute. You can pause this for a sec if you want to like read all over those yourself. So then now I will. You can pause the video if you wanted to see that. Okay. Excellent. Taurus. Cancer. Mercury again. Saturn. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm kind of seeing 5 and 13 here. And 10. Okay, so the 10th house again is all about that mid-heaven energy. So yeah, I felt a lot of people kind of intuitively felt that for some of you, the relationship stuff didn't resonate as much, but maybe having a bad boss or wanting to let go of karmic cycles where you held yourself back and you wanted to like pursue your own career and be in charge of your own, you know, life path in that way. I think 10 is kind of speaking about that. 10 in a tarot is about completions, and in numerology it is about the beginning of a new cycle. So we are seeing again that that message of clearing out the old, bringing in the new, and kind of following your true north with the midheaven there as significant. Then we've got the 5th house. I think a lot of people could just benefit from fun right now. The 5th house is ruled by Leo, and that solar energy. And 5 in numerology is also pretty much about fun. It's the middle of a week. It's like, you know, the midday, midweek. It rules Friday. It's just kind of about taking a breather and having a little bit of fun and then getting back to it, rather than having like a long vacation. Just do whatever you need to make yourself feel rested and restored. I'm thinking with Taurus here, again, we're getting that message about grounding with the green, but also I'm getting kind of, because Taurus is ruled by Venus. You recall that in the last reading we did, new moon in Taurus was significant. That happens on Beltane of next year, so May 1st of next year. I'm seeing here, because Taurus is ruled by Venus, again, it's right next to the 5. That's like, you know, because the sun nourishes the earth with sunlight, photosynthesis. I think this is all about whatever makes you feel rested and restored. Taurus can sometimes get called kind of lazy as a negative trait, and it's possible if it's taken in that extreme for that to be true. But Taurus also reminds us that sometimes, you know, that 10th house Capricorn energy, that Saturnine energy, we need to find and I'm kind of seeing like a balance here. We got a bit of a 6-9 going on as well. Yeah, I think that, you know, Cancer, I was getting like a balancing kind of look just from looking at this. With Cancer here, I would say we're about, and it's in green as well instead of blue. I think it's about balancing the emotions, grounding if you're feeling anxious, and finding work-rest balance that works really well for you. With Mercury and blue, I'm seeing a kind of vocalizing your emotions. Again, that message of journaling that we got last time that we did a video, to kind of get some of your feelings out, really kind of purging anything that doesn't serve anymore in your emotions through intellectual introspection with Mercury here. And Saturn, again, is in the emotional blue. It's almost like doing that inner shadow work, but also taking time to just kind of find balance. I'm seeing a lot about balance in this reading, because Saturn rules over work as well, but like the 10th. But some of you are needing to kind of pick up the pace a bit, and some of you are needing to slow it down. It's all about kind of finding where you feel like you've met some kind of equilibrium, where you're getting the things that you care about done, but you're also kind of relaxing. I'm also getting the 10 here. Some of you might be called to in a purple dye. I'm feeling that some of you are feeling called to start a path where there's a bit more of a spiritual career, or just a spiritual life path, even if it's like apart from the work you do for money, just something where you feel like you're leading in a spiritual way. I think a lot of people feel called to that right now who are seeing this, that they need to kind of step up in terms of following their spiritual path as well, that they have a calling in life that is not just about the material things, but also about the spiritual. And in a slightly more magenta shade, I'm getting that this is about healing the heart through fun. Yeah, and through creative expression. So that is your reading, guys. I don't want to drag this on too much longer. I will be doing another reading on the 23rd for Sun in Virgo, Moon in Pisces. Full moon still is till the 24th of this month. That's when the 25th it starts to go into a waning gibbous. Yeah, there's your reading.